You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Inflation continued to moderate in December. The PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, rose just 0.2%. For the year ending in December, prices were up 2.6%, excluding food and energy. The core PCE also rose 0.2% and was up 2.9% on an annual basis. Also, Americans made a little more in December. Personal incomes rose 0.3%, and spending rose 0.7% more than forecast. American Express has been setting aside more money in case its card members aren't paying on time, but the company is still upbeat about this year and the stock is higher. Amex also is raising the dividend it pays shareholders. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosolda. Invested in you.
New year, even a presidential election year, but we are still facing the same issues. You need to prepare for the worst. Protect your home, your family, and your investments. It's time to reach out to the Oxford Gold Group. They make it simple for you whether you are buying more gold, diversifying your 401k, or buying gold for the first time. Call the Oxford Gold Group at 833-995-GOLD and order the investment guide or make a purchase of precious metals and get up to $2,500 in free gold. 833-99.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette.
It's outrageous. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Israel's prime minister calls charges of genocide in the war against Hamas and Gaza.
Israel has an inherent right to defend itself.
Benjamin Netanyahu reacting to a UN court ruling stopping short of ordering a ceasefire that would have been hard to enforce anyway.
The vile attempt to deny Israel this fundamental right is blatant discrimination against the Jewish state, and it was justly rejected.
South Africa filed a lawsuit claiming the war that's killed more than 25,000 Palestinians is genocide. The International Court of Justice is urging Israel to do more to limit deaths and damage. Hamas has just released video of 3 female Israeli hostages. 2 of them are soldiers kidnapped in the October terror attack that started the war. Iran-backed Houthi militants went on the attack again today, firing a missile at an American warship off the coast of Yemen that the USS Carney shot down. The U.S. has launched 9 attacks the past 2 weeks, hitting Houthi targets to stop their attacks on shipping. Texas is getting a lot of support from 25 other Republican-led states in a battle at the border with the Biden administration.
Why are they directing Border Patrol? The American people need to ask themselves, why are they directing the Border Patrol to cut razor wire?
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt tells Fox he may send his National Guard to help Texas, which appears ready to ignore a federal deadline today to allow U.S. border agents into a park in Eagle Pass to remove razor wire Texas put up to stop illegal immigrants. Nikki Haley's planning 2 rallies in South Carolina this weekend before next month's primary, and she just told Fox,
only 2 states have voted. We have 48 states left. You can't go and discount all of those voters who want to vote in this election.
Haley says she pushed back to the Republican National Committee's chairwoman's push to drop out of the race, saying she thinks former President Trump was behind it, wanting to be declared the presumptive GOP nominee. He posted on Truth Social that he thinks the race should be decided the old-fashioned way at the ballot box. America's listening to Fox News.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ROCK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 42424.
Your drive time is live and local. Hey, folks, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and my show, The Joe Cunningham Show, airs every day from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. You can get it all. News and commentary you can't get from anywhere else on the local, state, and national level, plus your calls and your comments through our KPEL app chat. It's a fun drive home here on The Joe Cunningham Show, News Talk 96.5.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
Dino's Pizza is like no other. It's family-owned and operated in the Acadiana area, serving the highest quality pizza on their signature crispy cracker-like crust. Make Dino's part of your family traditions, located at Bertrand and Collie Saloon.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us as we rock and roll on a beautiful Friday. It is Friday now that all you people live for. And I used to not be a big Friday person when I was in the catering business, but I like them just like you do. Anyway, it's Open Forum Friday. You can talk about whatever you want to. We got a lot of things we're going to cover today. By the way, the people are sending me left and right. I know Joe did yesterday. And, about 3 years ago, I said Michelle Obama's going to run. I had a national person on there that said Michelle Obama's going to run. She's not qualified, but it's Barack, Mr. Communist, Mr. Marxist, Mr. Transform. He ain't finished transforming America into something we shouldn't be. Michelle Obama preparing to run for president. Barack Obama is polling for donors, and the plan is for May announcement. Megyn Kelly has announced, I guess, on her podcast, unless she's doing some TV show now. I don't remember what she does anymore. But anyway, none of that surprises your host, because I've been telling y'all this. They're going to put somebody in there to keep our country transforming into un-American. And who's better than the Obamas, who, by the way, are running Joe Biden, too. It's amazing. A guy who hates this country, hates it with his passion, and he hates Christ. He hates Christians, and he just hates. But he loves to bring down the United States of America. So that's what people want to do. By the way, we're going to get everything we want and everything we deserve as a country by all the things we do. And would it surprise me? Is she beatable? Hell yeah, she's beatable. I can't believe people would think. I want every person, especially the minority community, that thinks Michelle Obama's going to come rescue you and give you prosperity like you never had. Here's the question I ask a black voter. Did Barack deliver you to prosperity? How much prosperity did you get from the legendary Barack? And nothing. Michelle will be no different than Biden, Barack, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton. You ain't getting anything. The inner cities will still expand. The drugs, the alcohol, the babies out of wedlock, everything that's going on in the cities will get worse. They did under Barack. So what are you voting for? Don't you want to vote for somebody who at least care enough to save this country? It ain't Michelle. A new motto is going to be going to hell with Michelle. That's basically what happened to the country. Because, man, we got problems. We got problems that we got to straighten out. God have mercy. Anyway, 844-766-6607. Scott McKay would join us at 9:30. Got a book about the Obamas, too. This is perfect timing. And we'll visit with Scott McKay a little bit about that and some state stuff at 9:30. I know I'm expecting Liz Murrow maybe at the end of the second hour or the beginning of the third hour, but trying to get in at the end of the second hour. She's cutting a deal with Fox, so she's hoping she can get on a few minutes about the court ruling against the leftist, socialist, Marxist EPA. So we're hoping to have her on there as well. Also, Jeff Landry came out, Governor Landry, is deficit in the state finances, and the media is going absolutely berserk. And Parr's stepping in. You know, it's just so hypocritical that Jeff steps in. Oh, no, Bill left us with all this surplus. Bill. Well, you never covered Bill. They never covered Bill. They never challenged Bill on anything he said. Jeff comes out and says, good morning. They go, well, it ain't really good morning. It's 9 o'clock, and that's not really morning. It's mid. That's what they're going to do. And they're already doing everything he says. Tyler Bridges, the twit, and James Finn. I don't know of any two people that know less about state government than the twit, Tyler Bridges, and James Finn. I just don't know if anybody that is like they just like deers in the headlight. Oh, duh, which way did they go? All right, before I get to all that, former LSU football star accused of illegal gambling, placing bets on himself in an affidavit. That's probably why he's in trouble. I'm not going to talk about LSU. I'm not even going to talk much about Butte. How you say his name? Did I say his name? Okay, good. Thank you. When you got a young person here, you can tell them. So they basically bust him down. It said illegal gambling bets on himself, LSU football, and and they said he had made 8,900 bets. How do you make 8,900 bets in your life? 8,900 bets, like in 1 year. 8,900 bet on college football. I get it. But, I'm not excusing him. I'm not. But, when you got a state like us that had a constitution that said we should suppress gambling at all costs, our state constitution says we suppress gambling. Then here come the politicians in Louisiana. John Alario was one of them. Francis DeFee Thompson. I don't know if Thompson voted for it. They got a lot, just very few people remaining. They decided to change gambling and call it gaming. And when they made gambling gaming, gaming's not in the Constitution, but gambling is. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, with all their infinite wisdom, well, if they want to say this ain't gambling, this is gaming. So we got gaming. So we don't have gambling, but I wonder why, after all the gaming, all the advertisement they do, they always put, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800. But it's gaming. I thought it was gaming. It's not a gambling problem. Stupidity twisted here over and over again. Very few people have made a lot of money. It was always a partnership with government and a few people. That's it. So Blank Page Cortez came along, and Bell Edwards, and the biggest expansion of gambling in the history of Louisiana happened under Bell Edwards and happened under the watch of Blank Page Cortez and his good buddy, the gambling lobbyist, Joe Robideau, Mr. Taxman. So we got these young people. And by the way, it's not just Butte, and I'm not going to pick on LSU, of course, but it's not Butte. It's young people getting tied up because older people in government think they know so much and they want so much more money they think they're going to get. They're willing to throw our young people under the bus. Fantasy football comes along, and all of a sudden we gamble. Everybody's gambling. It's great to gamble. We made it easy to gamble. That's what we've done. I look at Butte, and maybe he's a trouble kid, whatever, but he's not the only trouble kid in this state. 8,900 bets. I promise you, if somebody would have told me Jimmy the Greek, walk under you and you ain't even never heard of a Jimmy the Greek. Jimmy the Greek was one of the first guys on the NFL, and he did games with Brent Musburger and them, and he would talk about the point spreads and all that stuff. And he was a gambler. He's a professional gambler, and they incorporated him in NFL football. Well, gambling is incorporated. Go watch ESPN. The gambling shows all over ESPN. It's called sports too, by the way. We've incorporated this into society, especially in Louisiana. So when a guy like Boutte bet 8,900 times, I would think Jimmy the Greek never placed 8,900 bets in his whole life. I know I'm being a little facetious and I'm being a little naive, but still, it was a habit. People, when they get tied up in this habit, they start losing their rear ends off. And even if they win, eventually it's going to catch up with them. But it's a shame that this in Louisiana, Paige Cortez, Bell Edwards, Joe Robideau out in Ashley, I can sit you and name a bunch of them. They're all out there shoving this gambling down our throat. As this was going to be the savior of the state. Then why did the state have to raise taxes under Bell Edwards? They raised $7 billion of taxes under Bill Boy, led by Republicans. That blows my mind. So I look at this and I go, look at the example we're setting for these young men, and then they get in trouble. And then we go, oh, you shouldn't have done that. We had an age limit on it. Yeah, it's amazing. They have an age limit on gambling and drinking, but they ain't got an age limit they don't have much of an age limit when it comes to drafting somebody in the military. 17, 18-year-old kids can go defend ourselves. You know? They don't have an age limit on taxes. You work, you pay taxes. That ain't got nothing to do with anything. We have actually taken society and said, hey, this is good. It's nothing good comes out of it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, you can say, well, I mean, you don't gamble if you don't want to. I agree. If you want to gamble your whole life away. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. Gamble that damn money away. All these young kids with all this money floating around. Wait till they start breaking. Wait till we start getting news stories. And we've already heard them already around gambling. Wait till we start getting more news stories of destruction of people's lives and young people's lives and football teams. Because all we do is push gambling as some great, great economic development, and it's not. I always say it's a partnership with government. But these young people, and they're looking at this, they don't think nothing of it. And then they get trapped. And the Boutte kid got arrested for something he did years ago. It's probably going to finish out his football career, his NFL football career. He placed bets on himself. He used to bet how many yards he would get and place bets on himself. This is a sad story, but this is a great reflection, not just on Mr. Boutte. It's a great reflection on values and what we stand for in Louisiana. That's what's a shame. It's just a sin and a shame that this, when I told y'all, I don't care if you gamble. Gamble every damn penny you got away. I don't care. Okay? But I'm just telling you, it's a shame. This is a culture we didn't need in Louisiana. We got enough fights here with poverty and other stuff. So I don't look at this as just a pop on him. I look at it as a pop on us. When these lawmakers went expand gambling. And the people that are excited about it are young people. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Take a break. Be back. You're listening to The Moon Griffon Show. You know, when you're selling your home, you know, one of the most important things you can even consider is, does that person really care about you? You think, oh, they're selling everybody's home. Nicole Spellman Group, they really care about you as a person. They want you to sell your home because you know you want to be stress-free on this thing. And you can't get there if you don't have somebody you have confidence in. Nicole Spellman takes away the stress of selling your home. You know, you can say goodbye to the guesswork when it comes to selling your home if you go with Nicole Spellman Group. Why? They take the guesswork out of it. They have a system called a home value estimator. It's a game changer for sellers, no doubt about it. If you go to NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, right on the homepage under sellers, click on What's My Home Value? Enter your address and find out what your home is worth in 30 seconds. That's the value of using Nicole Spellman Group. You know, that's why I trust the #1 team serving the entire state of Louisiana, the Nicole Spellman Group, to sell my home. Go online, NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, or just Google Nicole Spellman Group. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com. When you think about how... Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Open Forum Friday, your day to be a voice. Talk about what you want to. 844-766-6607 is Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Look, I'm not getting on a, don't think I'm getting on a gambling trick. Y'all do whatever you want to do. You're going to anyway. I just think we sent a bad message to these young people. And, you know, all the gambling around sports now. I mean, it is so embedded in the sports community now. It works its way to high school. Don't worry about it. So with the money. Can't stop young kids from making money. Or do NIL deals in high school. Absolutely, it's coming. All right, so Jeff Landry cites deficit in state finances. And the left and the people that want this state to be heading in the wrong direction, nut up. The Advocate, nuts up. Poor, nuts up. Jeff said there's a way. State was projecting a solid surplus next year when Governor Bell left office. See what they're doing? They talking about a solid. It was none of this is solid. It's all federal money. Folks, when this stuff hits and hits hard, y'all gonna realize Bell hurt us. But Governor Landry now forecasting a shortfall. Tighten his belt. Edwards, a Democrat, had been projecting state would have $143 million more. Landry says it's $64 million short. Jeff wants everybody to evaluate contracts and implement efficiency. What is wrong with that? When are we going to stop spending so much? So Jeff come, I don't blame him. But the picture may not quite be as dire as Landry's executive order suggests. Now, let me back up. Remember when Bell came in? If you go back and look at the debates between him and David Vitter, they will have about $850 million budget deficit. Bell gets in with Jay Darden. They just make up a $2 billion number. The Advocate today, James Finn and Fake Finn, and, of course, the twit, Tyler Bridges, he never asked the question, where you get the $2 billion budget deficit from? Never. They just took Bell at his word. Jeff Landry comes in, no, it can't be true. There's no way we can have deficits after a Bell Edwards regime for 8 years. And all his hopes and dreams was based on federal money. You see what the media does? Constantly go pop Jeff. Now, that's not true. The $2 billion budget deficit. That was never a $2 billion budget deficit. It's never been written and proven where it's $2 billion. And I'm waiting for Fake Finn and the twit to come forward and say, here was the $2 billion budget. They can't. Because there was never one. But they never even asked the question. His orders use the word deficit, a phrase that Governor Bobby Jindal's budgeting process when fiscal woes sunk the state deep in the red. Yeah, you talking about the budget that Bel Air was voted for? It's in odds with the way state government defines the term. Oh, now we back to what is. Telling you, folks, we got a screwed up government with a screwed up media That's our problem. State economists, good government groups, and others generally consider a deficit arise from overspending or reduction in the amount of cash flow in the state coffers through taxes. Here we go. We go interview PAR. PAR's been around for 70 years. PAR ain't never stood up and done anything yet. When somebody can tell me 2 things PAR ever did, I'm willing to listen. PAR, cable. This is a joke. So that's PAR. Executive order uses a different definition of a fiscal cliff than Public Affairs Research Council uses, said the director of the group. PAR uses just revenue shortfall, whereas this order uses assumed spending, which may or may not come to pass. Kind of like a $2 billion budget deficit. See, folks, the game's played. They're going after Jeff. The media has to go after Jeff. You gotta be joking. And what's the first word in the deal? What is the first few words in the first paragraph of the article to condemn Jeff? Huh? The state projecting solid surplus for next year when Bill was in office. Bill left us in such a good shape. Yeah, the roads are in super shape. Yes, the out-migration is better than ever. People are leaving. This is what they're going to do. They go to, why didn't you come to me? I know more about it than PAR knows. There was never a $2 billion budget deficit. Ever. But yet, the media kept saying it because Bill kept saying it. Bottom line is, folks, we don't need the 0.45 cent sales tax. If Jeff wants to take it off, the best thing Landry can do is say, we're going to be efficient. He's saying we're going to be efficient. We're going to have a problem. Everybody knows it's coming. But the media don't want him to be efficient. The media does not want him to be efficient. Unbelievable. Anyway, more on this later. Scott McKay when we get back. Michelle running for president? I'd have never thought that. A lot to cover. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, my friend at Schumacher Homes dedicated to making sure the custom home building is within reach for everyone. Your custom-built home. And Schumacher Homes does a great job of building custom homes. They're going to provide you with a dedicated team of specialists who give you choices and tools necessary to create your home and your dream home. The new year is a perfect time, right now, perfect time to take the first steps toward realizing your dream home. Schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting today by calling or visiting SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com, celebrating over 3 decades of crafting affordable custom homes. Schumacher Homes has always made it their goal to make the home building journey enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free. They're going to provide a devoted team to build your home. They're going to keep you up to date. Any tricks in the armor, they're going to come right to you and say, hey, we got a problem. We got a situation. Schumacher Homes will make it like you want it. SchumacherHomes.com and let the professionals give you a free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting right now. Folks, remember the name, All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say all, ALLfield.com. All Field Equipment, founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, and over 50 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. They're in the oil and gas business. You keep production up so you can yield as much profit as possible, right? All Field Equipment Incorporated is where you can find the all field equipment you need for maximum production. Their shop is in Broussard, Louisiana. It serves Auckland, Texas region. Over 35 years of industry experience, we have what it takes to keep your business in motion. We understand the importance of keeping your wells pumping and flowing, and that's why we offer a wide range of all-field equipment to ensure that your production runs smoothly. We're the only all-field supply company in Louisiana with production equipment knowledge, of open 24/7, one of the largest supporters of bottled water in the Gulf. All-field can repair any and all production valves and controllers. Allfieldequipment.com. ALLfieldequipment.com.
John Wayne Prejean.
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, Open Forum Friday. Today you can talk about anything you want to. More a little bit later on the Landry. Landry says, hey, we're going to have a deficit. We all know it's coming big, gigantic, all this federal money we're spending. And the media is freaking out and poor. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But they never explained to me where we got the $2 billion budget deficit. Never. Because there wasn't one. Anyway, Scott McKay of the Hayride, of course, joins us. Scott, I know you got to be pumped. I read it yesterday. Of course, you sent it to me, too. It's something I've said all along. I've always felt Michelle Obama would run for president. But, boy, your book, good timing on your book to know a lot about the Obamas. Great timing on your book.
I mean, look, I got a long history of Barack Obama costing me money with terrible things that he and his pals in the federal government have done. Like, that's the story of my adult life, basically. Mm-hmm. But now things are starting to turn around because I wrote this book about, Barack Obama and how pernicious the effect he's had on the country is. And these guys keep giving me news hooks to go on radio shows and promote my book. Yep. So, thanks to them, right? The rest of the country will suffer, but maybe finally I'll get something out of it.
Tell us the name of the book. Go back to the name of the book where people can get it.
Sure, been on the show before talking about racism, revenge, and ruin. It's all Obama, which is not a history book because it continues describing things that are happening in real time now. It's about the fundamental transformation of America that Obama has had, and apparently we're not done with the fundamental transformation because the New York Post is reporting that Barack Obama is fixing to parachute his wife into the presidential campaign come May.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I always say I had a national guy on here a few years ago, and I said, well, this is what I see happening. He said, boy, if you get that, he said, I don't see that at all. But if you get that, I remember you said that. And I said, I don't see any other way around it. She had 8 years to go play. They got more money than God allows. They can go play. She's been just enjoying herself. And the deal is you'll come back and run for president one day. And I think that was the deal they made. But I've always thought I think she's a horrible candidate. The Obamas are going to run this country single-handedly if we let them. But yet, people don't vote the way I vote, Scott. They just don't vote the way I vote.
Well, but this is the thing. And look, this is so Obama-esque. It's not even funny, all right? She's not running for president. What the New York Post is reporting is they're just going to parachute her in May. And at the same time, Joe Biden's going to bow out. Right. And so, she's not going to run in any primaries. She's not going to work the stump. She's just going to be coronated as the Democrats' nominee. I go into this in detail in the book. The Obamas, unless they absolutely can't help it, do not run regular elections. They don't run honest campaigns. Okay, when Obama first ran for the state Senate in Illinois in 1996, his people went and invalidated the ballot petitions of all of the other major candidates in the race. Okay, including the incumbent. If somebody's signature was printed rather than signed in cursive, they threw that out. If it didn't exactly match what was on the driver's license, threw that out. And before you know it, he was the only candidate running on the Democrat side, and he beat the Republican 82-18 because it was South Side Chicago, and there are no Republicans there. That's how he got his political start. And then, he ran for Congress in 2000 in an honest race. He got smoked. So 4 years later, he runs for the Senate, and his people go and get the divorce proceedings unsealed, not just of Jack Ryan, who was the Republican in the race, but Blair Hull, who was the Democrat, who was the favorite. He knocked them out both in the Democrat primary and in the general election, and basically ran unopposed in both. Okay, and then we could go through and we can talk about everything that was done to put John McCain and Mitt Romney in as the nominees in 2008 and 12, when those were the two most flaccid Republicans you could find, and how the mainstream media attacked everybody else that was in the race. We could get into all of that, but like 2016, it didn't work. But look at what they tried to do to Trump with the FBI and the Russia hoax and all that stuff. And then look at 2020. I mean, forget about it, right? This is what the Obamas are about. And now you're going to get the coup de grace, which is they're going to bounce Joe Biden out in May, according to the New York Post, and they're going to run Michelle Obama instead. And Lord knows what they're going to do to try to force her on the American public.
Yeah, the thing about it, too, Scott, and I've always said that the candidates are actually elected at the convention. So they go to the convention and elect Michelle. They only got a 90-day run, about 90 days to run, and that's it. And so that, I mean, I'm sure that's been the plan for a long time. These people plan stuff a long ways back. And so I'm sure the plan was always to basically move him out.
Well, I don't know if it was the plan. I think it was a contingency rather than the plan. And the contingency has to become the plan because Joe Biden is, I mean, I call him Joe Dead Horse Biden at this point because he is about as dead. He's ready for the glue factory, this guy. And I mean, like Trump is beating him by 4 in the Real Clear Politics average of polls of battleground states. Biden's approval rating is 39.8, according to Real Clear Politics average. All right. Those are unwinnable numbers. Like you can't sell that. And right now the entire Democrat Party is teetering on the brink over this immigration thing that even their own people are furious about and are ready to walk. I mean, you got black voters in Chicago, New York, and some of these other cities that, they're overrun with migrants. And, and like in Chicago, it's, wait a minute, these resources were supposed to go to our community. And instead, they're going to illegals, and what's going on? And they don't have an answer for that. So, like, it's a problem for them, and, like, the only solution, even though I don't think Michelle Obama wants this, she's the only solution they got. Because if they jettison Biden, they have to nominate a black woman, because black women are the heart and soul of the Democrat Party right now. I mean, they're losing black men. Black men are falling off the Democrats big time for all kinds of very good reasons. They're losing Hispanics pretty quickly. They've already lost, I think, to Asian Americans, and they're even struggling with white women now. And single white women are exceedingly pro-Democrat, but not quite so much anymore. So, like, Biden is running off a good chunk of their base. And to get it back, I mean, you can't change him out for Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris is even worse than Biden. But if you bypass Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama is the only one you can go to. You can't go to Gavin Newsom. And for no other reason that Gavin Newsom's ego is bigger than Barack Obama's, and he won't be Obama's puppet, which is the number one thing that you have to be if you want the Obamas to make you the Democrat nominee. So they got problems, and the only solution is Michelle. But the thing of it is she's completely untested as a political candidate. And when she has been in the limelight, she has said things that are not particularly palatable by people who are not partisan Democrats.
Oh,
so
no doubt.
I don't know.
No, you want her
talking.
talking. I think you want her talking.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, let me take a break, Scott. Real quick,
yeah.
I'll come back. I want you to tell people, you're kind of describing what's in your book, too, far as how the Obamas are. We'll come back and talk a little bit about that. A little bit of state news I want to bring up to you as well. In the next segment, Scott McKay, the Hayride, you can check him out. Got all the writings, great articles dealing with the state and the federal government. So we'll take a break, and he's also in other states. We'll take a break, be right back. From their humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is striving to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwood stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see that stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, paint, and L products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. Their corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
My friend and I are...
Hi, hello. Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Take care of business, Mr. Producer. You got to chill out over there. It's okay. I got Scott McKay. He could have handled it. He had to do say, Scott, would you start talking? He was Scott's like me. He had a lot to say.
Jeez.
Yeah, Scott, real quick on the book.
What am I? What am I, a jack of all trades up in here?
Well, that beats me. See, a jack of all trade is somebody who can do a little bit of everything. I'm a jackass of all trades. Jackass of all trades. I can't do nothing, so I got to do a lot of stuff. See, there's a big difference.
Well,
Scott,
that's fair.
The book, tell them we can get the book, name of the book, and sum up, because you've been kind of talking about the book mixed in all this about the Obamas.
Well, I mean, the thing is that like what we're talking about in the previous segment about the Obamas, all of that is in the book, and the book goes into much greater detail. The name of it, once again, is Racism, Revenge, and Ruin. It's all Obama. Just grab it on Amazon. It's easy to find there, and it's a quick way to get a hold of it. It's available where all the books are sold. But it's probably the most. I mean, obviously I'm the author. I'm going to say this, but it is probably the most important book that you can go and get and read this weekend, based on what's going on in national politics right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Anyway,
is that fair?
Yep, I think that's very fair enough. You getting back to the state, are you still kind of stunned at the start of what's going on with the state? And do you think this is the trend of what's to come with the Senate and Cameron Henry? Because the low-hanging fruit's gone. There's so many big things to grab now. And I'm sick of the step in the right direction. I hate those words because that means nothing. So do you have a concern about it? That's basically, do you have a concern?
Well, I mean, the thing about a step in the right direction is we're in a race. Yeah. We're up against Texas and Florida and Tennessee, who are lapping us. Yeah. right now. So steps in the right direction. No. You need to be running in the right direction, and you need to be running faster than Texas and Tennessee and Florida just to catch up with them.
That's what I said.
So don't tell me step in the right direction. What that says is inadequacy. Okay, and Louisiana's had inadequacy for 150 years. So it's time. None of that is satisfactory. Now, you mentioned, left Louisiana world is, having a cow right now over, the fact that Landry put this executive order out yesterday talking about the fiscal cliff and the impending budget deficits and the need to right-size state government. They're all losing their minds. But, I hate to say step in the right direction, but that actually is a good way to describe this because you do need to have a complete reset. Now, the question is whether, and when Cameron Henry was in the House, Cameron Henry was all about trying to right-size state government and fight, John Bel Edwards' crazy spending and all of that kind of stuff. So this might be a place where you can get Henry to not fight Landry on things that he wants to do. On the other hand, the Louisiana State Senate is the home of tax and spend leftism with a Republican face on it. So we will see.
Yeah. Well, let me go back to something else. And by the way, I'm to the point now. Don't tell me, Scott. Show me. I don't want to hear nothing about, are we going to do it? Don't even talk to me. Show me what you've done and come back and tell me and say, it's kind of like, how they cut ribbons for a plant that's going to come. Like we had a car manufacturing company was coming, and Bobby Jindal and Francis Thompson, the fee, and all of them cut ribbons, and it never came. I thought they should have had to take the picture again with them tying the ribbon back up. Or Bell Helicopter was supposed to come here, Bell Copter. They did ribbon cutting, Bel Edwards. Oh, job. It never came. The building's still empty.
Right.
Or that technology place, DXCXTD, whatever it was in New Orleans, 2,000 jobs. Edwards said, biggest job accomplishment ever in the history. It started, it never got over 300 employees, and I think it's gone. So I think if we're going to do something about that, we need to tie the ribbons back up. Don't tell me anymore. Okay, the other big one was, and you wrote an article, yes, of course, Cleo Fields is running for Congress now. Just your thoughts on that, and do we have a chance for this thing to be thrown out? You think we really will run on this district? We never had a court trial on the one we have now.
Well, my guess is, from having talked to some people this week, and of course, none of this stuff really moved this week because all of the principals are in D.C. getting drunk and having a good time. But next week, you're likely to see somebody file suit on this new map that just got passed. And when that happens, it's not a terrible bet that that's going to gum things up in the courts to the point where the Secretary of State's office is going to say, look, we can't run an election. We don't have enough time to run an election on the new map. We got to use the old map. And you probably get, another 2 years with the 5-to-1 map, which is, if you're not a Democrat, and especially if you're not Cleo Fields, that's the best possible scenario that you can have. So, I don't know that anybody's really all that upset about it, other than Fields, who wants to go back to Congress so bad it's killing him.
Yeah.
In which, hey, maybe you want to run against Garrett Graves in the current district. Just, get your feet wet, right? And see what the voters actually think of that. That's what I'd like to see.
I'm just kind of curious because you wrote the article and I don't like the fact that Cleo can even run. I don't think we should have drawn a district at all like this. And I've heard the arguments. So please don't try to make them that, a judge, and this way we get to draw it. I don't buy none of that. The judges are going to decide this anyway. So why put your name on it as a Republican? Because you said precedents of, hey, you had a supermajority Republicans, House and Senate, and a Republican conservative governor, and they drew it. Your name's on it now.
Well, yes. If you want to see something interesting, there is a piece of video, and my video clipping skills are abject garbage, so otherwise I'd clip it and I'd put it at the hayride. But a couple of days before this thing got passed, in that special session, Woody Jenkins goes and testifies at the Senate Governmental Affairs Committee, which Cleo Fields, of course, is the chairman of. The guy got to draw his own district.
Yeah, I know.
But Woody Jenkins went and basically, read them the riot act about how, look, this thing violates all of these provisions of the Voting Rights Act. You can't. It's unconstitutional on a whole bunch of deals, particularly things like communities of shared interests, which is what you get when Shreveport, Alexandria, and Baton Rouge are all in the same district. And so if you really want, you could go find that video at the legislature's website and watch it, because Woody did a really good job. And so, I would go look at that. That is the basis when they start talking about how somebody's going to file suit on this. That's the basis of how this could, and I'm not going to accuse anybody of playing 4D chess. Okay. We don't have a track record of 4D chess in Louisiana, but what it might end up being is a Mr. Magoo type of thing where, you manage to walk through the minefield without getting anything on you. Where you go and you draw a district which is over the top and unusable, and it brings you back to where you started from. For long enough that it becomes moot, because come 2030, this thing's going to get redrawn again. And we may end up with 5 districts instead of 6 unless something is done about the out-migration. So we'll see. This is... By the way, Scott, I think everybody needs to just understand that this is going to be litigated from now to time immemorial.
But if you had to bet, you would bet the districts that we have now will get to run again this fall, the ones we currently have?
I would say the current 5-to-1 map is probably what we're going to end up having for this fall's elections.
Got to run,
for
Scott.
2026. I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. We didn't even get to Psycho Bill, but we'll do that next time. All right, take care. We'll be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1.
Show that's not immune to facts. The Dan Bongino Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
He walked out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump left the courtroom this morning at a civil defamation trial in New York as closing arguments began.
Just prior to that, his attorney, Alina Habba, was told to sit down, that she was on the verge of spending time in lockup. She'd been arguing over entering a slide featuring certain tweets into evidence. Yesterday, when the former president took the stand, he tried to deny that he sexually assaulted writer E. Jean Carroll in the 90s, but the judge ruled he was not allowed to say that. Trump left the courtroom Thursday saying, "This is not America."
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. After winning Iowa and New Hampshire, the former president's telling the Republican National Committee not to press ahead with an attempt to declare him the presumptive nominee. But Nikki Haley tells Fox he was behind that effort, trying to get her out of the race.
He pushes them to do things, and I think they got some major blowback, and that's why he had to walk it back. Look, you can't bully your way through this process.
Haley will hold 2 rallies this weekend in South Carolina, where the next contested primary is next month. The UN's International Court of Justice is urging Israel to limit the death and destruction in Gaza as it keeps waging war against Hamas, stopping short of ordering a ceasefire in South Africa's lawsuit alleging genocide.
The charge of genocide leveled against Israel is not only false, it's outrageous.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Fox's Alex Hogan reports from Tel Aviv.
During the proceedings, the court noted that 93% of Gaza's population is facing hunger and malnutrition. Nearly 2 million people have been displaced as aid workers on the ground warn of the growing cases of disease. As the IDF presses further into Gaza, the military says that it has uncovered as many as 200 tunnels in the city of Khan Yunis and more than 130 Hamas military sites.
Now, the U.S. is calling for an investigation into the UN and allegations the State Department calls troubling that a dozen UN employees may have been involved in Hamas's October terror attack in Israel that triggered the war. Also today, Houthi militants fired another missile at an American warship off Yemen, but the USS Carney shot it down. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Hey, to social engineering and leftist corporations, do they make you feel like we're kind of living in the twilight zone? Well, you're not alone. Now, our friends at Pure Talk, my wireless company, they know the silent majority is fed up, and I'm calling on all of those Americans, stand with a company that champions your values. The average family is saving almost $1,000 a year. Dial pound 250, say the keyword SAVE NOW. Do it now. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. From our
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel. And a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Attention high school sports fans. Are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Louisiana needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Do you confuse state capitals and read too many celebrity gossip magazines? Well, if you answered yes, you may have what it takes to adopt a teen from foster care. Because teens don't need perfection, they need you. For more information, call 1-888-200-4005 or go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Dino's Pizza is like no other. It's family-owned and operated in the Acadiana area, serving the highest quality pizza on their signature crispy cracker-like crust. Make Dino's part of your family traditions, located at Bertrand and Collie Saloon.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Fun show, Open Forum Friday. It is on the Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. If you want to be part of the program, 844-766-6607. If you want to be part of it, you can email me, moon@moongriffon.com as an opportunity. And I know we had some people calling trying to get in when Scott was on, but hey, we just kind of rocked and rolled. We're going to move this segment up a little bit because we got Tim Metcalf and our friends at Dino's Pizza. And, of course, Prejean, what's up?
Hey, how we doing? I'm just back from Texas.
You got his mic on. Okay, hard work, dedicated, back from Texas.
Back from Texas, do a little hunting. Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you what you killed this time.
All right.
But you had a good time.
We had a good time. All
right, tell us what you got today.
We brought, your favorite, the bone-in, naked, dry wing.
But tell people what this is. So when you say naked wing, somebody's going, what you talking about?
Well, you don't bread them. You just drop them in the fryer with the skin on. But they crisp up so nice. They're carb-free. Gluten-free.
I'm going to tell you, the carb-free is what brought me to them, but the flavor's excellent.
It's excellent.
And you can dip it if you want to dip it and all.
The ranch, and then, yeah.
But they really are.
We can sauce them up for you. They don't have to be dry. We just don't. I don't like to put the sweet.
No,
sauce
but they
in.
ask when you order them. They say, "Hey, do you want a sauce still? Because
Right.
you'll get all that
Right,
put
right,
on
right.
them after you can." But
Exactly.
I eat them plain because I think they're so good.
No, I'm the same. I'm the same. And I brought the Cajun Samurai pizza. That's the fried shrimp pizza. Like I don't bring that often enough. Like nobody else in the world puts fried shrimp on
Yeah,
a
but
pizza.
it's
I'm telling
more
you.
than that. What all's on that pizza?
So we use olive oil for a sauce instead of tomato sauce because it doesn't really pair with the fried shrimp. And then you get your mozzarella cheese, and then we fry shrimp, and we put them in a sriracha mayo blend. Bake them on the pizza. When it comes out, we add chow mein noodles, green onions, and we put a little more sriracha.
That
mayo.
is a bad dude.
It is. It is, man. It's,
But I'll be honest with you. Of course, and we can talk about Prejeans too, but you've been doing it before you even bought Prejeans, but you're mixing that old seafood culture in the pizza. Which I think is, by the way, that's not the only.
Taking the local, the great food we have here, I don't need to buy bell peppers from California.
Yeah, but Tim,
and pepperoni from New York.
one of my favorite ones, as you know, you brought it here many times, was Marie Laveau.
Right.
It's that blue
point crab.
Oh,
yeah.
and it's sweet. It's so
It's
good.
sweet. It's good. It is good. Yeah.
But yeah, once again, you can have the red sauce, or you can have not the red sauce.
Right. You can do the Alfredo sauce, the white sauce. You can do olive oil. You can do no sauce.
I do an olive oil a lot of times.
Olive oil a lot of times, especially if as I get a little older, a little heartburn.
Yeah. But tomato sauce sometimes. What I'm saying is, you do a good job of mixing. You want pepperoni pizza? Come to Tim.
Gotcha.
But if you like specialty pizzas, like the Parrain, which has a couple of different pepperonis on it, maybe
two pepperonis,
And what?
and the Nani's pepper jelly.
pepper jelly. So you got pepper jelly on a pizza,
right?
And you're thinking, I don't know if that'll be good. You ain't tried it.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, Tim comes up with these pizza ideas, and like that was one that you ran for a month special,
right?
And it ended up being a permanent.
You got the feedback.
menu
The
because you got so
feedback
much
on it.
love.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure most of the pizzas, maybe the Samurai was one of the ones. Let's try it and see what you think.
It started off the Marie Laveau started off as I did 7 seafood sizzling summer pizzas, and the shrimp aladino, crawfish aladino, and Marie Laveau were on there. And those 3 made it to the permanent menu, and yeah.
Do you still have the I don't know if you take and bake?
We do.
So
We
you
do.
still
I brought them to Texas with me. Hell yeah, heck yeah.
They want to call you and come by and pick it up.
It just people don't understand it fully. It's a pre-baked pizza on a tray. You bring it home. So if you're in town, 3:00 in the afternoon, and you want pizza for dinner, and you don't want to drive back into town, pick that back.
But what about if you're out of town? Let's
Bring
say
it
you're in
with you.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you're over here and go, man, I've been hearing about this bar on the radio talking about the Zenos. I'm going to go pick one up,
grab
take
it,
it, and
yeah.
bring it home.
Bring it home.
But you must feel
Bring it on. We have a lot of people that go when they go to Destin. When the weather starts
might put 'em
warming,
in
they
the
go to
freezer,
Destin. Yeah, bring them because it's so easy. You don't have to meal plan. You don't have to you don't have to dirty pots. There's no dishes. It's just turn your oven on, throw that bad boy in the oven. It cooks on the tray we give you. Okay, and then you cut it on that tray, eat it, throw it that tray.
You even brought a little dessert today.
I did king cake bites. So that's good until
King cake. I never
13th.
heard of that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All good pizza. You people that are over in the Henderson area, you can't go in and sit down, but they got the.
Well, you can sit down. We got a couple tables. In
Oh, you do now? Okay, I didn't realize. I mean, most of
you
it's
sit
to
down.
go to.
Most of it's to
people
go.
can
It's an
go.
express unit. It's an express unit. There'll be no table service. You have to go up to the counter and order. And
Well, that's what I meant.
no
I mean, you
dishes.
basically get
Yeah.
to go. There might be a seat if you run and you need to eat real quick.
That's right. That's right.
And that's going real well. Of course, your 2 Prejeans, everybody knows that the one on I-49. It's been there for a long time.
Iconic.
You went in and changed some things, kept some things that were good, changed some things that you wanted to implement.
Right.
Then you added Broussard, another location.
Yeah, and that's with the big patio it has out there, covered patio, and we've got it closed in for the wintertime to keep it dry and to keep it warm.
Yeah.
The live music out there, man, it's going well. It's going well. Private parties, big groups, small
And of
groups.
course, you do catering. I know you did the inauguration.
Yeah, we did.
Jeff
We,
and
we killed it for the inauguration, and we've got we got a wedding this weekend. I think we're doing. So we're doing catering.
I ain't getting married. I'm not married already.
No, you don't want to redo your vows.
No.
Let me know. I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal on catering.
I'm confident we got it right.
There you go. You and me both, man.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
No doubt about it. Far as I'm just curious. I was reading a thing the other day about. It's a shame. It was in one of the papers. I read so much. Sometimes I wish I quit reading it. But they were bragging. They were mad in Louisiana because we hadn't raised the minimum wage. Minimum wage. I think
that was just day before yesterday.
No, but it's made
That's what's all. That's why everybody's leaving the state.
Oh no,
Child migration. 'Cause
that or you
Louisiana-
can't get Medicaid. No, but what I'm saying is I'm laughing at it because the guy's talking about, boy, if we had it up there, it would help. And I'm going, Who's paying $7.50 an hour?
You can't.
I bet if you paying
you walk
$7.50,
through the door, nobody's going to take that job. They go right down the street and make $2-3 an hour more.
that's what I'm saying. They're gonna make you're gonna probably be making 10 or close to it or more.
Yeah.
So, but they want to raise it. I'm going. Why? But let me tell you, if they raise it, they're gonna raise it to 14. They're gonna raise it to 10. No. They're gonna raise it to 14 or 15. 14. Yeah. And by the way, when the government puts stress on businesses like you still a small business. You consider a small business.
Right.
And you got more than restaurants. That's got to put. If they tell you have to do it and you have to do it, then the price of these chicken and the price of pizza got to go up. Right?
We saw what happened when they forced all that during COVID. The government forced too much onerous regulations. What happened? We come out and we got 6, 7, 8, 9% inflation. You know what? I think inflation was actually double digits, but they don't count everything. They downplay it.
I never believe what the government tells me when it comes to inflation. Listen, I go to the grocery store. Right. Let me tell you what, and I'll let you go. But I went to the grocery store the other day with my bride, and we left. She said, God, I need a bag of chips. You got to feed him over there. So I bring him a bag of chips. So I go run and get some Totitos or whatever y'all call them. I go in there and get them, and I'm not. There's not a whole lot of thinking. I was told to go do it. I went and get
grab and go.
Walked up to the self-checkout. I can do that. I know you're shocked. $6.29. I went. $6.29 for a bag of chips? I had nobody to fuss at event.
Right.
So I paid it and walked out, and I was looking at bags. I said, that ain't worth $3.
Last time I bought a bag, it was $3 something.
$6.29 for a bag of these
and
chips.
It probably was used to be a 20-ounce bag. It's probably an 18-ounce bag.
I know, but what I'm saying is that's inflation. That's on a bag of chips.
And you know what they said, the economy's better. The economy's better. Biden, the inflation's down. The inflation's gone. That don't mean that prices roll back to where they were. You still if the average family paying $1,000 a month more at the grocery store.
I can explain this to you, but you can explain it to me better. Okay, so if something was $10 and now it's 15, or $3.50 now it's $6.29. Okay, when they tell you it's not as bad at $6.29, then why didn't it go back down to $4? It didn't. It still stayed up.
It still stayed up.
But it's on top of everything that we've already increased.
Right, but next year it's not going to be. It won't be $9 next year. It's only going to be $7. So that's why it's better. Just like their budgets. We didn't raise the budget. But we put a 10% increase on everything, but we didn't go up and beyond that.
Oh, what they do is they blame
automatic 10%
like sometime when the Republicans are fighting it, said, they want to cut. They want to cut a percentage of what they're raising. So if it's raising $10 and Republicans say, no, $5, then they go in there and immediately say, they want to cut it $5. No, we're going to raise it $5. They wanted to raise it 10. We only raise it 5. That's a cut. Because the average person, and I'm involved in the average person,
no.
I can't believe they want to make that cut. No, we're going to cut $5 of the $10 increase. It's still an increase.
Exactly.
But by the time you explain that, you're backing up because if they can't understand it, but this is what the media does.
It does. Right. They spin
they pop in Jeff now because Jeff said, hey, we're going to have a $64 million shortfall.
Deficit.
And so he goes, we got this 0.45 cent. We'd like to cut that tax off of people. So they got to start planning for it.
Right.
What does the media do? They go to par. Oh, this is not right. Edward said we got the billions of dollars for all these years. No, that's what Edwards said, but Edwards is a federal money guy.
Right.
And so, Tim, if you were planning for something up the road in your business, you can't do it after the disaster hits. If you can plan and get out of it, you would plan and get out of it.
Exactly.
That's all Jeff's saying. That's not responsible.
No, not according to the press. Not according to the Advocate, for sure. I read it this morning.
Devil's advocate.
I was banging my head on my laptop. I'm like, what is this? What is this?
They make it up as they go.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
They don't care.
Anyway. Tim, give out the website real quick. I'll let you get out of here.
You got it, man. Dino'sPizza.com, FraserJones.com. Let's
Catering.
Big groups. We can do it all. Mardi Gras. We're on the parade route almost.
And 7 days a week.
7 days a week. You got it.
You can throw a rock from the parade route and hit you. I'm just not asking them to throw a rock.
All right.
All right, Tim, always a pleasure.
I got it.
All right, we got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go nowhere. I'll eat as much as I can at the break. We'll be right back. Tim, thanks. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, oh, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Oh, serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC service repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
In Saturday.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. If you want to be part of the program, it's always open, 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. And, of course, you can talk about anything you want to talk about. The border. We'll get to the border with Abbott. I'm glad Landry stepped up, but I wonder if we can send them troops to help them. I wonder if we can send state troopers, not state troopers, but the National Guard to help them defend the borders, because Joe Biden, the Democrats, they want open borders. They want this country smashed. And if you don't think any other way about it, okay, you're wrong. Why in the hell are we doing this to our people? But that's the Democrat Party. That's what Marxism looks like. That's what communism looks like. Then they're going to turn around and control everybody. But I want to just wrap up on one other thing. So the media, James, Fake News Finn, and Tyler the Twit Bridges, Jeff Landry cites deficit in state finances, issues call for belt tightening. What's wrong with that? Federal government is $34 trillion and growing, going to be $50 trillion in the hole. We totally dependent on the federal government now. If we don't do something, we've never done belt tightening. That's what I told y'all. When Bell came in, it was so much federal money coming in. Not because he did anything, except beg. And so we stayed in the wrong direction, full steam ahead. You can't tell that to the news media. They love them some Bell. Bell's caused us hell. So Jeff comes along and says, hey, we're going to have some problems. Everybody's been talking about a deficit coming. But the media never questioned. And I'm waiting for Fake News Finn and the Twit Bridges. I'm waiting for them to go tell me where they got the $2 billion budget. They never asked Edwards any questions. When Edwards came and said, well, we got a problem, our budget deficit is $2 billion, they just wrote it, happy to write it. Never had a question about it. Well, they didn't say, hey, Governor, during the campaign with David Vitter, and you were elected official, and by the way, do you remember you voted for almost all of Bobby Jindal's budgets? They never said that to him. I would have, but he won't come on. I'd love to ask him, what about these budgets you voted for? Let's go back, all these budgets you said you inherited, $2 billion budget deficit. And the media kept running with that. Jeff Landry, Governor Landry, already sees we're going to be in trouble. We don't have deficits as far as we don't have surpluses as far as we can see. We're a dependent state. And then they go interview people like Parr, okay? The Parr director. Procopio, something like that, Procopio. Executive order uses a different definition of fiscal cliff than the Public Fair Research Council uses. Well, if it's not poor, then it must not be good. But it ain't poor. I wouldn't use nothing poor ever put up on cable. What did they ever do, folks? I wish they'd have went extinct like Blueprint Louisiana did. That was a joke of a group. They gone already. But poor and cable are used as experts with the media because they're big government supporters. That's all. They ain't using the same definition of us. Well, I'm sorry. Maybe y'all using the wrong definition. Maybe that's why we last in everything. He says, Paul uses just the revenue shortfall, whereas the order uses assumed spending, which may or may not come to pass. It always comes to pass. We overspend. We got a spending problem. I've been saying that since the microphone for 30 years. Nobody wants to listen. Everybody wants to spend. The reason PAR doesn't use the spending is because PAR and the cable and the left and the good old boy network never want to talk about the spending side. Jeff comes in and talks about the spending side, and what does PAR do? And what does the media do? They defend. They defend because they don't never want to talk about spending. Ever. Of course PAR is right. Well, they're doing it different than us. They want to talk about spending. We don't like to talk about spending. No, and that's why you get it wrong. This is amazing. Let's see. At a meeting of the Joint Legislative Committee on the Budget, Tanisha Hutchins in the State Budget Office says the state is now facing the shortfall in the upcoming fiscal year because of higher than expected. You ready? Expenses for Medicaid, salaries, and replacement acquisitions. Medicaid, I told y'all what this thing was. The worst thing you can do is go put your citizens on a government health care system, Medicaid. It's the worst thing you could do, and Bell says it's the greatest thing he's done. Folks, it costs us about $600-700 million a year. You ought to see how many people you can wean off the government. Let them go get jobs and get health insurance that way, or do it the hard way like me. But no, the media said this was great. Now you got somebody coming and said, we got to look at the spending. Folks, this has been the problem in government from day one. They only want you to look at the revenue side. The spending side has always been our problem. We need to wean as many people off of Medicaid as we can, and every time we wean one off, we save money. The reason Jeff's looking at the spending side is because that is what you need to focus on. That's what we need to focus on, is the spending. The PAR's right. They're using a different definition of fiscal cliff because we look at spending as your problem. If you look at your budget at home, folks, and I say, well, I got 3 car notes and 2 house notes, and it's my spending that's a problem. But what Paul wants me to do, if they come look at my finance, they go, well, don't worry about the spending. Let's just look at your revenue and how can we beef it up? That's why we're raising taxes, $7 billion. This is so simple, folks. But, when it comes to the media and the guy that heads up PAR, I can explain it to him, but I cannot understand it for him. This is so easy to follow. So easy. We'll be right back. Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up, you're in the middle of the night, you look at, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends, they open at night, they can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fracture, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. SouthStar Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Open Forum Friday, 844-766-6607. We're joined by Attorney General Liz Murrow joins us. Mr. Attorney General, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you this morning, Moon?
You know, for a guy, I'm just kind of hanging in there one day at a time, Miss Liz. It's the end of a broadcasting week, so I can smile a little bit.
Well, what's up?
Okay. Federal judge in Louisiana blocks EPA's impact requirements dealing with black and white communities. I want you to explain this to people. People are reading the headlines and they're going, what does this mean? What does it do? But actually, I think you like the ruling because I think it was what you were looking for, correct?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's an important ruling and win for us. But let me talk a little bit about what it doesn't mean.
Okay.
It does not mean that the state can discriminate against people in communities that are at risk. I think specifically Judge Kane acknowledged that pollution doesn't discriminate, and the state has and always has had an obligation to evaluate the impact to a community in any permit that we issue on the environmental side. So none of that has changed. What happened was last year, the EPA sent us a letter that threatened a lot of our federal money, and they were trying to impose upon us a whole new framework for analyzing how pollution impacts a community. And they couldn't explain to us what we were doing wrong. They couldn't explain to us why they thought we had to change anything. And we pressed them for those details, and they never would give us the details, but they continued to threaten our money. So we really had no other choice but to sue them, because if they wouldn't tell us what their legal basis was for threatening our federal money, then they needed to tell it to a federal judge. And that was really the only way we could get them to explain why they thought we should change anything and what they thought we were doing wrong. And at the end of the day, they couldn't prove anything at all.
So what does this do now for the state of Louisiana and what's going on with the EPA and our companies? What is the gist of why we won this thing and this is a good deal for the state?
Well, it doesn't change the permitting process that's already been in place. Okay. So anyone who is applying for a permit or engaging in public comment and public engagement with regard to that particular permit is still able to do that the same way that they always have.
But Liz, they tried to make this tell me I'm wrong. They tried to make this more of a racial thing. Am I right by saying that?
Well, what they were trying to do is, I think, impose a very, very ambiguous analytical framework that would allow the government to kind of dictate the results of a permit application without regard to the actual facts. Okay. And so they were threatening our money and telling us they wanted us to put something called a cumulative burden analysis or a disparate impact analysis in place. And they were claiming that that was necessary because if we didn't do it, we would be violating the Civil Rights Act. In fact, it was requiring us to violate the Constitution by making race-based decisions in permitting, which we are prohibited from doing. So it was really just a way for EPA to manipulate the outcomes without ever telling us what we were doing wrong and why we needed it. And we aren't doing anything wrong.
Okay.
I mean, we have a very fair and even-handed process. It's been approved by EPA in the past. There's never been a problem. I think what they wanted to do was attack all the permitting and all the plants operating down the river between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And they wanted to create a structure where they could drive the outcomes and deny permits without any real rational basis for doing that.
Wow. Now, Liz, this case has been going on for a little while, hasn't it?
Well, we actually filed last year in April, I believe, after negotiating with the EPA for 4 months over their threats about our federal money. And we kept saying, tell us what we're doing wrong. And they would say, well, that's not helpful to getting to a remedy. And I said, we don't know what to remedy if you don't tell us what's broken. Yeah. So, again, I mean, what we were trying to do was illustrate that the government wasn't really concerned, that the EPA wasn't really concerned with anything that they could claim we weren't doing correctly. All they were really concerned with doing was attacking the operations, these petrochemical facilities down the river. They decided to call it all Cancer Alley, which is, has no respect whatsoever for the communities, the jobs, the good, the work that all those companies do down the river. And so they were really targeting an entire geographical area and trying to destroy the petrochemical industry, and they were trying to get us to help them.
Yeah, wow. Unbelievable. Now, can I ask you the big, tough trick question? This is going to kill him. No, this goes back to conversations you and me have had about redistricting. I'm not going to talk about the map now, what's going to happen. I said, but me and you, when we visited last time, you said that the judge, after we drew redistricting, would hear the case, a full case, for the maps we already have, the maps that we currently have with our sitting congressman. So what date is that going to start? Because they said as soon as they drew the maps and got them approved, that we would now get to go to court on the maps that we currently have. Have you been given a date yet?
Well, Judge Dick set dates from the beginning, so that's why there was always a gun to our head over this. I mean, if we had not drawn a new map, she intended to go to trial on February 5th. If we did draw a new map, then the plaintiffs have the ability to go back and amend their complaint and complain about the new map if they wish to do so. If they are satisfied with the new map, then they may dismiss that lawsuit. I mean, there is nothing else to litigate. We have a new act of the legislature. It supersedes the old one, and they now have to come in and say they don't like that map and challenge and explain what it is they don't like about that map. I do not think we are going to have a trial on the merits in March. That was the new date she set. If we drew a new map, she set a date in March for us to go to trial. I've never believed that was possible because there are a lot of different legal motions that have to get filed and ruled upon before you can go to trial on the merits. There are a lot of other legal things that need to happen with evidence and testimony, and none of those things have happened. My expectation all along is that if a new map was drawn, then the case would likely get dismissed. That doesn't mean that someone else might not file a lawsuit and challenge the new map.
Well, I mean, I would think somebody in like Garrett Graves' district or somebody would say, hey, we want to challenge the new map. Do you foresee, and I don't know, you hear stuff, do you foresee anybody challenging the current new map that was drawn last week? Do you think that's around the corner? People going to come forward, or you have no idea to know that?
I have no idea whether they will or they won't. I know some people have talked about it. talk and action are two different things. It's not inexpensive to litigate a case like this. There are some, legal questions, I think, that are inherent in the process that they could raise, but, they have to want to see it through, and I don't know whether they will or not.
Okay. Yeah, and by the way, that makes it easy to say, hey, file a suit, and then when you tell somebody, well, you file it, it's going to cost you $250,000, $1 million, whatever number you throw out there, then all of a sudden everybody wants to file a suit, backs off. It's just, I know it's a process and it takes a lot of money to try something.
It does. It's not as inexpensive to file one. I mean, that's still probably about $250, but it's going to run up about $1 million to litigate it all the way through the courts of appeal. So that's not an inexpensive proposition or commitment for people to make.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Miss Liz, I know you're busy. I know you. I do appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. Have a good time. We will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Attorney General Liz Morrell. All right. We got to take a break. More to come. Don't go nowhere. We're just cranking up, really. We're a little bit over halfway home, but a lot more to cover. We'll be right back. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts. AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up, you're in the middle of the night, you're looking, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends, they open at night, they can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fractures, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com.
Shasta.
Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, last segment of the second hour. Don't forget we do have a third hour. You can check it out, moongriffon.com. Listen live. And you can go there and listen live. And we got a third hour. It actually goes out in the Acadiana area, but you can pick it up. If you listen to us on a computer or whatever, you can pick up the third hour. All right, let's go. Who you say, Angel? Angel in Lafayette. Angel, how you doing?
Hey, Moon, doing well, thanks. Wanted to see if you ever thought about hosting your show from Washington, D.C. this time of year when they have the Crew of Mystics ball, and trying to talk to all our delegation out there and trying to give us the scoop.
Actually, it's
that would be awesome.
Actually, it's kind of funny. I was scheduled to be there, and we probably would have broadcast a couple days. But my wife had an accident with her knees, and so we were not able to go. That ain't my scenery, I'm going to just tell you right now. But if I go next year, Lord willing, we're still on air, I probably will broadcast a couple days. And it won't be a problem getting the delegation out. There's always going to be some that ain't going to come. But I'll reach out to anybody that wants to come out of it. And, yeah, you'll be able to get a couple of the big-name people outside Louisiana as well. But, no, that's something that I probably was going to do this year, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's not my scenario. That's not my scenery, I promise you. I'm just telling you, everybody that goes and have a good time, I'm not cutting anybody. Go have a good time, enjoy yourself. But if we do go next year, because I was told we're not going to miss next year. It ain't my decision to go, you understand? But my bride wants to go, I'll probably go.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool. Well, I think it'd be cool, especially Drew Brees there, this year, and Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, and,
They got a new governor. Yeah, that probably would have been cool.
happening time.
It would have been a good time, but for me, but look at the bright side. Next year, we'll have a new president. And if we got a new president that's a Republican, and right now it looks like Trump, then we've had him on before. Maybe he'll come in and do a personal visit.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Thanks, Moon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right. I want to play something. I talked to Liz Burrow, mentioned about the new redistricting. Folks, the one thing that the district cannot be is gerrymandered. The one thing the district cannot be based on is race. 100% cannot go that way. Okay? I got the chairman of the Government Affairs Committee on the House, none other than the guy who shouldn't have that, Bogus Boboye. Listen to what he says.
The district court's order that we must have 2 majority black voting age population districts combined with the political imperatives I just described have largely driven the boundaries for District 2 and District 6, both of which are over 50% black voting age population, or BVAP, as you've heard discussed a lot in committees and may hear with folks discussing today.
Representative Amadei, on a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rep. Boyer, thanks for carrying the bill over here. Is this bill intended to create another black district?
Yes, ma'am. And to comply with the judge's order.
It is, folks. That is not how you do a district. And far as just complying with the judge's order, I'll never understand a state. Okay? Barrow Amity, by the way, a big conservative. I'll never understand a state doing this. Can I give you an example? So the Supreme Court, on a 5-4 vote, just voted for Abbott, Governor Abbott in Texas, to take his border wires down. It's the Supreme Court, and this is what a conservative governor did. And I don't know how conservative Abbott is, but I know this. He said, hell no. We're going to protect our state to the best we can because Biden and Obama and them are not. They're running this country through Texas. And so guess what? Now, including our governor, have all stood up and say we would Abbott. Kristi Noem said she's going to come down there with truckloads of barbed wire and wire so to help them keep them out. I think she's in North or South Dakota. Now, that's standing up to a judge, boy, the judge. And when Boyer Bogus said that, who, by the way, shouldn't be the committee chair. That's a joke in itself. But he's a con artist. And Philip de Villiers couldn't tell his buddy, no, you're not getting that. He's a con artist. Kisses Philip on the rear end every chance he gets. See, you see what the governor did? That governor said, nope. That governor told the Supreme Court, which, by the way, on a 5-4 vote with Barrett, Coney Barrett, again, a Louisiana Supreme Court justice embarrassing us, voted with the left. You notice the Democrats, they stick to their gun. They got 3 of them. And Justice Roberts is a clown show. So we lost 5-4, not to protect your own border, not to protect your own state. The federal government ruled in favor of Joe Nutted Up Biden. They ruled in favor of him. You got to keep people coming through this through the state and bring all the fentanyl they want. And bring all the drugs they want. I mean, this is pitiful. But guess what the governor did in Texas? Nope. I don't know if Landry could have done that. But it seems to me somebody should have stood up. Somebody should have stood up and said, you know what? We got a district. We got a district. We need to stick to the district we have. That's not what's happening at the border. And folks, I'm talking to more and more people that don't even follow this stuff. Guess what they all following? They're following the border. New York, Chicago, these big cities are all complaining and crying about the people coming over the border. They cannot finance and fund the people that are coming across. We can't do it. We can't do it anymore. We can't even do it anyway. We should have stopped this 40 years ago. But when Biden and them came in, Green New Deal, run up all the debt we can run up and let everybody come across the border. And all they want to do, I'm going to play that because we got time, Walker, I think. Let me play once again. This was, who was this again? Carlson, Tucker Carlson, yesterday explaining real quick about open borders. Here we go. Hit it.
The numbers you need to understand. Yale University released a study last week by 3 researchers, all of them liberal, I believe, who concluded that the actual number of illegal aliens in this country is not 11 million. It's north of 22 million. 22 million. Fact 1. Fact 2. The Democratic Party is now, as a matter of policy, calling for the legalization of all illegals in this country. Citizenship voting rights. 22 million new voters. Fact 3. The overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. Fact 4. The largest margin in American presidential history was 17 million votes. 1984 election between Mondale and Reagan.
And Reagan, yeah.
17 million. You would add to our voter rolls 22 million, at least, permanent electoral majority in perpetuity. That's what this is about. It's not about making the country better, serving our labor needs, helping the population. It's about putting Democrats in power forever. That is the truth of our immigration debate, period.
Yeah, and yesterday was MSNBC. Joy Reid called, if you don't open, they don't want to open borders because it's racist. Joy Reid, Nut talk show, CNN, whatever she's with. But, you know, it was kind of funny. I hadn't seen Joy Reid or any of these other people to open their doors and let these illegals come live with them. Hadn't seen it yet. Hadn't seen any of it yet. I don't understand. Don't understand at all why they don't let these people come live at their house. Why? But yet, she sits there and says we need to open. Joy Reid, securing the border is racist. The woman says this. But yet Joy Reid never said, hey, this is my address. Any of y'all want to live with me? Destroying the country. Unbelievable. Democrat Party. Vote Democrat. You want to run the country and you want to be like Venezuela, vote Democrat. You're getting closer every day. Did I take a break? For some of you leaving us, God bless. Have a great weekend. One more hour to go. MoonGriffon.com. Listen live. We'll be right back.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
It's the defense's turn. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump back in the courtroom for his lawyers' closing argument after walking out as lawyers for E. Jean Carroll made their final argument, seeking more than $12 million in damages in a civil case after Trump was found liable last year for sexual assault and defamation of Carroll, which he still denies, testifying briefly in his own defense yesterday.
Trump testified that he stands by his 2022 deposition where he denied knowing Carroll and denied her allegations. He also denied directing expecting anyone to hurt Carroll. When Trump tried to add a few sentences, though, of explanation, the judge cut him off and struck all of his answers after he said yes and no from the record. On his way out of the courtroom, Trump could be heard saying, "This is not America."
Fox's Alexis McAdams at federal court in Lower Manhattan, where the jury is expected to begin deliberations today. The UN's top court declines to order a ceasefire in Gaza, but is ordering emergency measures.
The state of Israel shall, in accordance with its obligations under the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, in relation to the Palestinians in Gaza, take all measures within its power to prevent the commission of all acts within the scope of Article 2 of the Convention.
Court President Jean E. Donoghue announcing a ruling that allows South Africa's claim of genocide to continue. Israel has a month to submit a report. Prime Minister Netanyahu says the war will continue and that Israel has the right to defend itself. The U.S. pauses funding to the UN agency overseeing relief in Gaza.
A State Department spokesperson says the U.S. is extremely troubled by allegations that 12 employees of the United Nations Relief Agency for Palestinian Refugees may have been involved in the October 7th terror attacks in Israel.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The State Department urging a thorough and swift investigation, also briefing members of Congress. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Hey, to social engineering and leftist corporations, do they make you feel like we're kind of living in the twilight zone? Well, you're not alone. Now, our friends at Pure Talk, my wireless company, they know the silent majority is fed up, and I'm calling on all of those Americans, stand with a company that champions your values. The average family is saving almost $1,000 a year. Dial pound 250, say the keyword SAVE NOW. Do it now. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month from our friends at Pure Talk.
Defense lawyers are asking a court to throw out the charges against the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in an off-campus house in 2022.
Bryan Kohberger's attorneys are appealing an earlier ruling that allowed this grand jury indictment to stand and for this case to move forward. But legal experts that I've been speaking to don't expect them to have any more success this second time around. They are trying to argue that the grand jury that indicted Kohberger on 4 counts of first-degree murder was biased, improperly impaneled, and was given the wrong burden of proof to return an indictment. Well, the judge on the case, John Judge, was having none of it, ruling in December, quote, Kohberger was indicted by an impartial grand jury who had sufficient admissible evidence to find probable cause to believe Kohberger committed the crimes alleged by the state.
Fox's Dan Springer in Moscow, Idaho. Prosecutors want the case to go to trial this summer. Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen fire a missile at a U.S. warship, which shot down the missile. Meantime, 4 more attacks by Iran proxies on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. No injuries. Working remotely has remained popular long after pandemic lockdowns ended, but new data seems to show remote workers are at higher risk of losing their jobs than peers who go into the office.
Employment data provider Live Data Technologies looked at some 2 million white-collar workers and found fully remote workers 35% more likely to be laid off, 10% were let go last year versus 7% of those working hybrid or full-time in the office. The Wall Street Journal report also cites some experts as considering the personal relationship as a factor. Managers may also perceive in-office workers to be higher performers. Other studies indicate more of them are rewarded with promotions. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The Dow's in record territory, up 125 points. The S&P topping 4,900. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.